Community Podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Community Podcast. Today I have the town of Louisa's mayor, Ashley Michael, with me. So let's get to know a little bit more about her. Ashley, tell me a little bit about your background and what made you want to run for mayor.
Well, a lot of things. That's a multifaceted question, as with all of these, I believe will be. I grew up in a very small community. I know people think of Louisa as very small, but I would argue that Greene County is probably even smaller. Legitimately had the same teachers that my parents had as teachers. So I'd walk in, they're like, "Oh, you're Donna's daughter." I'm like, "Yes. Yes, I am." So grew up in that very small, tight-knit community, but also from a family of servers. So whether that was military service, police officers, running the rescue squad, serving in their local government, it's just kind of what our family does. And then a lot of family members who are small business entrepreneurs, so I got to see their kind of move through the environment and the world as a small business owner and what kind of hustle, truly the hustle that takes, and was inspired by it, seeing all of the things that my family has done to build their community as well as their own kind of success for themselves and for their children, in each generation, just getting better and better. It felt like, we moved to Louisa 10 years ago. And having that kind of call on our heart, got really involved in our church, started serving the children's ministry, our worship team, got an opportunity to serve on the special needs advisory board. So instead of just kind of jumping into this like a waterfall, more of iterations of servitude, and each one of them coming with a little bit more responsibility and a little bit more kind of integration into that space. And then said, might as well. Let's try and run for the mayor and see how that goes.
So one thing that you touched on was community, okay? Tell me about what community means to you and what that looks like.
Oh, it is so important for me. And a lot of people know our backstory. We have a kiddo that very shortly after we moved here had a pretty significant accident that left him in the hospital for a month in the ICU, 3 months in a rehab center. I was gone. I was with, him in this hospital in Baltimore, in Charlottesville prior to that. And what our community did for us to support us, my husband, I would get calls from my children about, "Mama, today we got spaghetti and dessert," because they got dessert every night by the food train. And it was that was kind of the start of, you know what, we had already gotten very well supported by our church, but seeing the Little League, our neighbors, people that had never met us before but just heard our story, that just spoke to the caliber of individuals in this county and in this community that I was I want to serve them in the tangible ways that they served us. We love our community. I'm a talker, if you can't tell. And so I do. I just love being around people, learning about people, hearing their stories, hearing what makes them tick, what's their passion project, because it's always something different.
Yeah.
It's always something different for someone, and then figuring out what touches them, what inspires them, and how could they use that strength to make their world a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that we're both so similar in the passion that we have for this community and the potential that we know it has.
Yes.
So with that being said, what are some goals that you have for the town of Louisa over the next few years?
Oh, so many.
I know.
So
it's
many.
A never-ending question.
Yeah. I'm calling it the 3 Ps of priorities. And first is people. Having people that feel engaged, that we've built a community of trust, between the local government and the citizens of our community, having people that want to be involved, who and it's already happening.
Yeah.
The number of people that have reached out, via phone call or an email and say, "Hey, I really want to help. I really want to get involved. I really want to try this." Getting people who've never explored local government before to say, "You know what? I think I could do this. I think I could be involved in this." That's a huge priority for me. The next one is prosperity, is my second P. And I think people think of that in oh, we want to be rich. Like, no, what is going to make us prosper? So having good economic development, but smart growth, looking through our business portfolio, understanding the right mix of businesses that we need. And that's like the blend of small businesses, which, I'm super passionate about, but also the right mix of franchise, larger conglomerates that do support a good tax base, so that doesn't fall onto the shoulders of our citizens, making sure we have the right blend of it, whether that's retail, grocery, medical, food, all the food. I could get down with some food choices. I mean, we've got great ones already, but I always am looking for more. And so things like that, like ensuring that we have a prosperous growth. And then the last kind of P for me is protection. And that is in all sense of the word. So protecting our people from a physical safety standpoint, making sure that we have a town that people feel comfortable and safe walking down the streets and driving through and, going down trafficking like downtown with foot traffic. But also how are we protecting them like emotionally and creating an environment where they want to be a part of this town, that we are protecting our culture, that we are welcoming to other people, welcoming to our tourists, welcoming to people who want to move and live here, but protecting the culture that makes us so special, and creating a space that has sustainability and vitality so that there's a home for my children. There's a home, hopefully, for my grandchildren, because I didn't have all these babies to not have grandbabies. Like, strategic thinker, I'm looking down the line. I want the grandbabies, but I do want to make sure that a lot of towns are being faced with some very difficult choices and decisions. And I think Louisa is so much further along than a lot of them and set up for success that we have the ability to shape the future for our children and grandchildren to ensure that we still continue to have these generational lineages still here, because that is kind of a hallmark of Louisa's. I've been here for 4 generations. I've been here since this time. I want to continue that. I want, it doesn't have to be a bedroom town, a sleepy town, but it doesn't have to be a Charlottesville or a Richmond to still be vital.
I think that that's a good way to look at it. I think that, my grandparents live here, my parents live here, I live here, I brought my family back here. I only hope that my kids stay here and that their grandkids stay here. But, with that you're right, some things have to change and some things will stay the same and some things are perfectly fine staying the same.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you think Louisa is doing perfectly right now?
From a bigger picture, our schools, top notch. That's going to continue to draw people in because we are so good at it. I feel like I made the joke that we're in the Industrial Revolution again. That's what it feels like, because there is a lot of development and there is a lot of movement. I stay very positive that things happen for a reason, and the decisions that people are having to make are really difficult decisions. But I do think we have people that care genuinely about this community. And I love seeing the engagement. Like the last couple of meetings, there's been a lot of people there and community members, even if they don't say anything, they're just listening and paying attention. And I love that. I love the pride that I feel like the community exhibits. Even if they don't always agree, and anyone on social media can see that we're not always going to agree, but there's just a level of respect and a level of understanding that we have for one another. Like, even if you don't agree with me, like my kid's probably in your class. I might see you on Sunday at church or, getting our hair done wherever, at Roma's, at Country Boys, so at the fair. Yeah. That's the one thing that I love about local government and about Louisa is the ground is all level where you walk. So I do think that we do a really good job of still continuing to promote our citizens and our community and making sure that we're really focused on what is the best overall. It may not be the most palatable. It may not be what one, this individual wants. It may not be what this, but can we reach a compromise? What I'm also seeing right now is so many partnerships and collaboration, and that is really inspiring to me. the support that I, from like the mayor's standpoint, have received not only from my incredible council members and the staff in the town, but also from the county staff, from the county board of supervisors. Like they want success. Like everyone wants it to succeed. Now, success is going to look different to the beholder, but I haven't at this point felt like there has been any wish for like, oh, I just wish that it's not successful. Like they truly want what's best from our citizens all the way up, the grassroots, wherever it starts. That's really inspiring for me.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. You know, we all might see and want something different from Louisa. At the same time, we all want what's best for Louisa.
Right.
It might look different to him or her, but at the end of the day, we're all just wanting it to look its best and be its best.
And still be recognizably Louisa.
Yeah. And have that strong sense of community that I feel like is what really gets people to stay here. It's not always like the lake. It's really that sense of community. I know that's why I'm here.
Yes.
That's why 90% of people are here. You want Louisa because it's home.
Exactly.
You know, and it feels like home. So small businesses, I know, are both passionate parts of your and my life. And I get the unique opportunity to work with them on several occasions throughout the year. But you really get the opportunity to work with them a little bit more hand in hand, day to day almost. So tell me, what is some small business projects that you are looking to introduce?
Yes. So one of the things that I've been really passionate about is like getting out the word. Like we don't have to be a little secret. Like it doesn't have to be the best kept secret in Central Virginia. Like, no, let's make sure everyone knows about us. And making sure that I'm posting about them, sharing information. Like I make a really I'm constantly thinking about how can I get this here versus how do I have to drive to Charlottesville? Do I have to go to Richmond? And there's some things that like it is what it is. But like even just getting my daughter a birthday cake, like I've just talked about it. Her favorite cake is this cake from Wegmans. They only offer it in December. Nope, found a local baker that could bake it for me. And that's a great feeling. And like being able to promote that and share, hey, these are what these businesses are doing. So there's like that piece of it. And I feel like that's the outer piece of the onion. And then there's so many layers on the inside of how do we support them in a tangible, material way. What I'm really excited about is, looking at like the Virginia Main Street Initiative that the Chamber has been working through and their plan and strategy. I was really grateful a county member sent out this report from like Southwest Virginia, again, learning from other communities. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. What can we learn from others and what they're doing? And some very strategic things that they are putting in place to support their businesses, from like education on tax incentives that are offered at both the state and federal level that a lot of small businesses I didn't know about them until I'm reading about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is easy. Like, this doesn't even cost, we can just help. And right now, kind of like my role in that is working with their council, and they've just appointed and filled our Economic Development Authority, which is really exciting because they have the ability to pivot and to offer incentives and to think about different policies and practices that they can put in place to support those small businesses. It's educating those business owners on things that they may not even be aware of, like grant opportunities. And, you guys are doing your amazing Easter egg hunt. I've sent out an email to every business owner that I could think of and told them, if I forgot someone, please make sure that you tell them. But I'm like, there's going to be traffic that day. Be ready for it. Whether that means you look at your hours, if you look at your specials, like do things that are going to create this like connected experience to the events, like capitalize on what's here. So it's like little things like that, learning from other localities, how they've done it, how they have increased that business portfolio and the support of our businesses. That doesn't always have to be financial. Sometimes it is just that word of mouth, getting it out there, and making sure that I also walk the walk. Like that I'm going into those restaurants and eating. I'm going into those stores and purchasing things, and being a vocal advocate for them.
Yeah. I think that, when we think about our small businesses, it's really the heart of our community. Without those businesses, we don't have anything here.
Yeah.
And we need them just as much as they need us. So like you said, when we have the opportunity, let's really, really consider shopping small,
Yes.
you know, whether it's the birthday cake or, you know, you need some more barbecue sauce. And you know what? Country Boys has theirs at like 3 different local shops now. Go grab that. You know, those little things, they truly do make a difference. And honestly, like those small business owners, they need it and they thrive off of that.
Absolutely. And there's enough to share the love. And I think sometimes people don't realize, like, you just ask.
Yeah.
I mean, that's truly when I went to Grace and Grain about this birthday cake, I didn't know if she's going to be able to do it or not.
Yeah.
Figured the worst she could tell me is no. And it was a very resounding, yes, I will do this. And it is amazing, by the way. You know, like where I get my son's hair cut, like where my daughter gets her hair done. I'm so intentional about making sure that we can leverage the resources that are here. Because if I don't, then those resources are going to disappear. And I don't want that to happen. Like, I love that the same person that, you know, trims your daughter's hair, you're going to see her son on the baseball field later in the afternoon. Or you might see them at church on Sunday. I might see them at open house at the school. Like, you build these connections that are more than just you're a supplier for my demand, but you're a supplier for my demand and I feel connected to you. And I'm watching your children grow up and feeling like, hey, we have a little bit of a part in that. Like this village is raising itself together.
So with that, what type of legacy are you looking to be leaving on our community?
So the same legacy that I try to have and tried instilling it in my children, it's something that I've always said, the nouns. Like, leave your nouns better than when you found them. So people, places, things, all of that. If you borrow someone's car, fill it up with gas when you return it. When you go to the grocery store, put your cart away. Like, it's okay. And I'm hoping that I leave a legacy that it's better than what it was, not because of me, probably in spite of me, but that other people get inspired and want to have some ownership and accountability. My also kind of greatest hope is that I call it my, you know, campaign of kindness. Like, it doesn't have to be divisive. You know, I tell people all the time, I'm not a politician, definitely not a politician. You may call me the mayor, and that's okay. But I'm definitely not. I'm a person.
Yeah.
And I want people to see that you can run a campaign and it can be built on kindness, that you can step into a role like this and still, like, and not just still, but should always walk in integrity and always walk of high character. That doesn't mean you won't disappoint people because there will be decisions made and things that maybe aren't what someone else would choose. But I don't want someone to be disappointed in me because I stepped outside of my character or I stepped outside of the integrity that I constantly am speaking to. But I just hope that I leave a legacy that glorifies my faith in people and in our Savior, and that they can see, like, hey, there's a space for me there too. I think a lot of times people see politics and they think politics.
Yeah.
And like, they're all about themselves and they're all only in, like, no, you can go there and you can definitely check your own self-interest and make sure that you are serving for those around you and not for yourself. Like that, if I could leave a legacy of that, I feel like I've done okay.
And I think you are. You already said earlier, you know, that you feel like people are starting to get more involved. And they're starting to get more involved because they're trusting in your values and they're trusting that you're going to stay true to those values and that you, at the end of the day, want what's best for the community and for the town.
Yes. And I ask them to hold me accountable. You know, having good people in your life that you say, hey, if you see me slipping, I need you to make sure that you recenter me and hold me accountable. I take time every morning to kind of pray and meditate and think about, what does my day look like? What is my outcome? How do I want to conduct myself today? I use my 24-hour rule sometimes, which is one of the greatest things I learned from a leader at work. But it is about, you know, I can't hold a community accountable and I can't hold other people accountable if I myself am not holding my own self accountable. So that's the priority first. And then if I feel like I'm in good alignment, that I'm running through like the moral compass and this is my North Star, this is what we're supposed to do. You know, even if I don't like it, I can still sleep at night from it. And I can still feel okay knowing I did the right thing. Might have been hard. Sometimes it is, but it was always right.
Yeah. So how, in what way would you encourage citizens to get involved and really make this community as best as it can?
Share your voices. Call your supervisor. People call me. Love it. And sometimes when I call them back, they're like, I didn't think you would call. I'm like, well, you call. Why wouldn't I? Send emails, attend open houses, town halls, read. Like, we have great reporters between, Engage Louisa, the Central Virginian. Like, we have really good, resources to look into that are unbiased, nonpartisan. You can just kind of understand what's going on. What I would also urge citizens to do is, on top of all of that, and those are all important, is every time you are coming into a conversation, come into that conversation to try to understand and always assume good intentions. Sometimes people will give you a reason not to. That's okay. But for your own self, assume those good intentions, and you'd be surprised how much further along you can get when you're like, I didn't just make an assumption that this was something bad, but I really am like, I'm making an assumption that their intentions are well intended, that they want a good outcome, but maybe I just don't like the process. So help me understand that. And just be really curious, skeptical, I guess, is one, but I go with curiosity. It's not about I'm not thinking anything negative. I'm really just want to know. I do not know all the answers, and I am not afraid to ask a lot of questions. And I think sometimes people are. They shouldn't be. This is a really vast world with a lot of different people, with a lot of different perspectives and experiences. And I am not the end-all be-all of local government or water lines or sewer lines, although I have learned quite a bit about them already. I lean into those people around me to understand more. Help me understand this part of this. What does this mean when I read it here? I think that having a just healthy curiosity to know more and then get involved. And if you don't know how to get involved, ask someone for help.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to run a campaign, so I just started asking people, what should I do for this? What should this postcard look like? How should I design this? It's get help from trusted resources and see how you can, do you have the capacity from both the ability and the time? And if you do, what's stopping you?
Yeah.
What is stopping you from getting involved? So do it. Might as well.
Right?
Right?
Well, thanks for joining us. I think this has been a really nice, insightful and also very down to earth. It's not we wanted you on not just because you're the mayor, but because you honestly provide down to earth sense of community, and that's what we want to do. We want to bring this community together, or else it would not be called the Community Podcast.
Exactly.
But I've enjoyed getting to know more, and I look forward to working with you in the future as now too. Easter's fast approaching.
Oh, yes.
And all the other events that we have lined up for the summer. So thanks for joining. If you have any questions for Ashley, please send them to us. We will be happy to forward them to her. And like she said, please get involved, share your voice, use your voice. That's why you have it. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.